Thanks for checking out another episode on my RC Retro channel. Here I have a vintage Tamiya Technigold motor. In this episode, I want to touch upon the significance of this motor and share how there's actually another motor out there that's almost identical to this Technigold motor. But first, here's some vintage footage of the Technigold.
The motor's timing can be tuned for various track conditions, and the 18 and 16 tooth pinion gears for taming this brute power to differing road conditions. Midship mounted RX-15 VZ Technigold motor is included and accepts the Tamiya 7.2 volt racing pack battery or the EX racing pack for a power source.
Although Technigolds were marketed as aftermarket hop-ups, they actually came standard on the following kits: the Porsche 959, the Bigwig, and the Avante. Now, the Technigold is significant in the history of Tamiya because back in the day, this was considered the flagship of Tamiya motors. While it was considerably more powerful than the standard 540 silver can, if you compare the Technigold to the modern motors of today with brushless systems, they'd blow this thing right out of the water. But again, for back then, this motor was quite powerful. In today's time, Technigolds are highly sought after by RC collectors. Although they're readily available on sites such as eBay, they're not usually in the best condition. Unless you're buying a new in-the-box Technigold, which would run you probably somewhere between $150 to $250, you'll probably end up with one that has some slight imperfections on it, such as scratches or nicks from it being ran. I was fortunate enough to find one through a buddy of mine, Glenn, who actually runs the Tamiya Legends channel. This one was pulled out of an original 88 Avante, which was only ran a handful of times, so there's minimal marks on it and overall is in excellent shape. So in doing some research, it was brought to my attention that Mabuchi, the company that manufactures the Technigold for Tamiya, also manufactured a very similar motor known as the RX-15 Plus. Now if you look at both motors side by side, they look identical, but if you look closely, there are some subtle differences. First off, out of the box, the RX-15 comes with Tamiya white connectors, whereas the Technigold comes with snap connectors. Second, the wire leads are soldered to the outside of the motor tabs, whereas the Technigold is soldered to the inside. Finally, the RX-15 has a capacitor on the outside, whereas the Technigold does not. So, why am I sharing this with you? Well, apparently, on some of the forums I read, some people use reproduction labels of the Technigold and put them on the RX-15 for display purposes in their shelf queens. However, my concern is, for a motor with such iconic status, I could see someone trying to pass one of these off as an original and trying to get top dollar. So for all of you vintage RC collectors out there, just make sure that you do your research and that you're asking questions if you're not sure.